Hey guys, it is me, Tanya, founder of the TNG Designs Group Limited. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. Now in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to pick the right brand colors for your business brand. Not for your personal brand, but for your business brand. Now, obviously you would have seen a recent video of mine talking about personal branding and especially how you can pick your brand colors there. But now in this particular video, we're going to be talking about how to pick the right colors for your business brand. So now, before you get stuck into this particular video, I want to make sure that you are liking and subscribing to my channel, because do you know what, folks? I'm super pleased and amazed at all the support that I've been getting. But could you please go that one step further and actually go ahead and hit that subscription button, because I want to make sure that you do not miss out on any videos that I go ahead and upload. Equally, go ahead and hit that little ding bell, because it'll help you to do the same. It'll remind you or even alert you as to when I go ahead and upload a new video. So aside from that, also please make sure that you go ahead and share about this particular platform as well, because I want to make sure as many people as possible get to understand what branding is about and how it can even more so help them on their ways to get that recognition, to get noticed, to stand out from their competition, and to, oh my goodness, and to do a hell of a lot more than that. So folks, before you get stuck into this video as well, please make sure you stick around to the very end of this video. And do you know what? Let's just get into it. There's so many different things, or I'm pretty sure a lot of branding. Now there's so many different ways to go ahead and do this, but as you know, I have my specific way of doing it, because I believe it's a nice, clear-cut and concise kind of a way to be able to pick out and understand exactly what you can do to make sure that your brand colors that you're actually picking for your business actually represents the outcome that you want to have for your customer, for your client, for your prospect, whoever your audience is. It's for them. Remember, when you're doing a business brand or constructing a business brand or building the awareness about a business brand, it's always about them, not about you directly, but about them. So what I mean by that is we're going to be touching base on this very first thing, and it's all about your values, right? So when you understand that your values are essentially what it is that you want to be known for, it's all about them. You get to understand that, you know what, the colors that you are picking are going to represent the feeling, the emotion, the understanding that you want your customers, your clients, or your prospects to have when they come across you, right? So it could be anything from feeling empowered to feeling like they are going to be free after having been working with you. They are going to be having a peace of mind after having worked with you. They're going to be having clarity after having worked with you. What is that thing? What is that value? What is that belief that you want them to have after having worked with you? Because when you establish that, and you know I always talk about the idea of your VPV, when you establish what that is, the colors that come to you based on what your values are really start resonating with you, because you know about your values. So for example, let's use the idea of empowerment, right? Empowerment can be represented by so many different colors, but the one that really comes to mind is the idea of purple, black, or even red as well. These are all very strong and intense and very powerful colors, and equally so is a big, strong royal blue. Now, the strength or the intensity of that color is what helps to bring about the idea of empowerment. But that only boils down to the idea of, what does empowerment mean to you? For me, empowerment means the idea of building strength. It means the idea of reinforcement. It means the idea of having a backing or a support that is able to withstand the test of times, right? Empowerment means belief in you and then some. But what does empowerment mean to you? Because as much as I've decided on those colors for empowerment, it can mean something completely different to you, right? And understanding that now I've got these colors in mind, I know that when it comes to my business brand, this is my hypothetical business brand for this particular imaginary business, I know that those particular colors based on empowerment are going to be included within my color palette. And perhaps if empowerment was one of my strongest brands, my strongest values, then I'd probably have that as one of my primary colors, right? And I'm going to touch base on in a minute exactly how many colors you should actually have. But this all depends as well on the amount of values you want to make sure that are actually represented. But even more specifically, when it comes to constructing your color palette for your business, you've got to do it in a way that sits congruent to what it is that you're about in the first place. If your business, for example, is all about, if you're a spa, for example, or if you're a beautician's, and you want to choose colors, and by the way, you do not have to have peach, you do not have to have baby blue colors, or baby pink colors, or pastel colors for the having a spa, right? You can go the complete opposite, because it all depends on what you want the outcome for your customer, what you believe that to be, right? If, for example, you have a spa and your business is all about, yes, empowerment, but equally all about peace of mind, all about tranquility, what colors come up to mind for you? For me, if it's my own imaginary spa, I would choose a lovely warming sunset kind of a red, or even a yellow, sometimes something in the sunset scheme, right? Because for me, seeing a sunset or even a sunrise, seeing those colors bring me peace of mind. Seeing those colors make me feel relaxed. Seeing those colors help me to feel at ease and at peace. So what is it for you? So based on that meaning, or based on that interpretation, as much as I said that that's how it makes me feel, I also equally want my customers, my clients, my prospects to feel the same kind of a way. So what does that mean for you? With your own business, do you have a spa? Do you have a filming business? Do you have your own publishing company? Do you have your own branding company? Whatever your business is, choose colors based on what your values are, what you want the outcome for your customer to be, okay? So the number 2 thing to think about, especially when it comes to understanding how to choose the right brand colors for you and your business brand, you've got to understand that, do you know what? Yes, you can choose a 10 trillion amount of colors for your business brand. But again, go back to the idea of what you want the outcome for your customer, your client, your prospect, your audience as a whole, right? If you pick a certain amount of colors that don't represent your brand, or that more so clashes against each other, you can run the risk of creating confusion. You can run the risk of making people want to retreat as opposed to be attracted to you, okay? So typically I will always say, when it comes to picking the amount of colors for you and your brand, I pick up to 5 because that's a nice comfortable spot. But here's the thing, each and every one of those 5 will actually carry a different function, okay? And I'll share that with you in part number 3 shortly. However, I want to make sure that you're understanding, yes, you have this amount of colors, but that doesn't mean that they all carry the same weight. And here's what I mean by that. I mentioned a little bit a while ago, the idea of my primary color, right? Now, typically in my business brand anyway, my primary color is actually yellow, and I call it a sunshine yellow. And I know I've spoken about this color before, but for me, it's all about warming. It's all about welcoming, right? That's my primary color, because I want to make sure people feel that the minute they get to walk in and speak to me, the minute that they come across my platform, the minute that they actually see any information of mine, I want them to see that color because it's a welcoming color. And it's not a stark yellow. It is not a fluorescent yellow. It's a very warming yellow. Now, it's all about using certain tones, right? Remember, I was sharing that with you before. When you use a certain tone that represents you and your brand, you get to really hit the nail on the head as to how you want people to feel when they actually come across you. Now, going back to the amount of colors, right? I said 5, up to 5, but they all carry different weights. My yellow is my primary, so that means it's the highest of the load, right? For you, what could your color be? What is your main color in all of the colors that you would have actually picked for your business brand? What is that main color? That will be your primary color. Your secondary color is what you can use, for example, when you're talking about specific bits of information. Maybe it's a quote that you're always trying to share on Instagram or on Facebook or on TikTok or on Threads, or not even on Threads, but more so on LinkedIn or anything like that. Maybe it's a particular quote. Maybe it's a bit of information that your business is always sharing with its audience. Maybe it's a quote from your business. Maybe it's a word from you as a business owner that will always appear in this secondary color, or even your primary color, right? Use your colors to really help you to put things in place and put things in order, because at the end of the day, folks, as much as you are doing something like this, maybe perhaps you're doing your own recording, as much as you're having a front-facing kind of interface, right? It's not always going to be the case. So you want to have a point of reference or a way to help your customer to understand your brand and equally take them along a branded journey. I know I've spoken about this before. Your branded journey will help your customer, your client, your prospect, your audience as a whole to understand who you are along the way before actually getting to meet you, okay? Now I mentioned about primary and the secondary color. There's also tertiary colors, and you can keep going down the line till you get to number 5, right? But again, they all carry different weights. And I also like to inject in there what I call an interruptive or disruptive kind of color. And I know I mentioned this about, how to find the right color for your personal brand. Well, it's the same that applies for here as well. What's your disruptive color? Now, by this, I mean the idea of what is that super bright or super powerful or super strong color that you can inject in your color palette that really startles someone in a good way, right? That causes a sense of interruption or disruption in the person's pattern, in the person's flow, because you want them to now pay attention, right? And don't get me wrong, they're going to pay attention with the other colors too. However, this color switches up the game because it causes them to say, hey, check out what I'm about to share here. That color is a super important color to have within your color palette. So please make sure that you do inject that. In my own color palette, for example, and I know I actually shared what my colors are in the personal brand video. So I'll go ahead and share like a little key card somewhere around here. Go ahead and check that out so you can see what my own colors are. But having a disruptive color for yourself in your own color palette, choose something that is stark, that is strikingly powerful in its intensity. I actually have a peppermint fluoro green color. Now, this is what helps to inject that type of disruption, that type of interruption pattern, right? When it comes to somebody either scrolling, when it comes to somebody coming across any elements of training that I have that I really want them to pay attention to, it helps to do that. So think about what that could be for yourself. Now, for the third point here, right? I've been hinting at it along the way, especially in my point number 2. The third point, when you're choosing your colors, you actually get to use them in a way that categorizes things that actually makes sense to your audience. Because again, remember that you are taking them on a journey. Now, I gave a brief example in point number 2 in the sense where you can use it for quotes. You can use your colors to represent maybe a word from you as the business owner, or maybe a word from you as the director, whoever it may be, right? Representing somebody of a specific position that really needs their voice or their message to be heard. Whatever that may be, whoever you may be, please understand that your colors can actually help you to really add emphasis on specific things. And on that note of emphasis, you get to use your colors in a way that really pulls out different kind of words or points that you want to make in a paragraph, in a statement. Maybe if it's a case of, again, if you've got a poster that you want to make sure that you're really shouting about on a particular promotional piece, maybe your keyword or maybe your pricing is a specific color, right? Use your colors to help categorize or help to add emphasis on messages that you're trying to share. Because when you do that, you're really just making things super simple and pulling out the key information that helps others to really understand what it is that you're trying to get out there. So folks, on the note of putting out information, I want to make sure that you go ahead and click on the link that's in the description box below. When you do that, you're going to be taken to a page that will ask you to fill in a few details. It'll take you less than a minute to do so. So once you do that, you're actually going to be getting a free gift from myself to you as a thank you for 1, watching this video, but 2, thanking you for your support, right? And more importantly, 3, this is how you're going to start elevating your brand even further, right? Especially when it comes to your business brand. When you get your guide that will be fired over to you via your email, please check it, please download it, and please make sure that you take in the information that is shared there, because the information that is shared there, you'll see, well, number 1, how exactly your colors can actually use to represent your brand even when you're not there. Number 2, you're going to understand the importance as to why you should continuously do so, right? And even more importantly, number 3, you're going to understand that, you know what, with this information, to be able to elevate your brand to the levels of noteworthiness, to the levels of making sure that you're standing out from your competition, to the levels of eventually having people coming to seek you out rather than you seeking them out, you're going to understand what that difference is going to be and how it's actually going to help you. And that being said, the idea of helping you, I understand that you probably got a few of these guides within your inbox or in your downloaded section, right? This is what I want to make sure that you do. I've actually offered something in addition to that guide as well, and that's to have a complimentary call with myself, understanding that where you are right now, but equally where you actually want to be and what you can actually do to make yourself get there even further. So folks, go ahead and check that out. Please make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to this channel and click on that bell so you get reminded or alerted as to when I go ahead and upload a new video. And until then, I will see you on the other side.